What's going on, everybody? Thank you for tuning in today. Glad everybody could make it. We have Jesse from Musical Pythons with us tonight. I'm going to be bringing him up front here shortly. Just want to start off by saying thank you, everybody, for all the support, and don't forget to hit that like button, and let's have fun with the show. So let me bring Jesse in here.
Hey,
Jesse,
what's up,
what is
everybody?
up, brother? Thank you for tuning
What's
in.
up?
Give me 1 second.
Yep.
This fan was bugging me. um, Thanks for joining us today.
Hey,
So
thank you.
we got Holly and Jeremy from Snakes for the Memories in. We got Phil in with us. Thank you, Phil. Thank you, Jeremy and Holly. We've got Rob in with us. We've got Cuddle Time in with us. And we've got Benjamin in with us. Thank you very much, everybody, for tuning in. I appreciate all of the support. I looked at my sub count today. I'm at like 449. It's debatable.
Nice.
It's like 449 on my YouTube channel itself. Then if I go to YouTube Studio, it's 451. So I don't know what number is right. Either way, I'm pleased. It blows my mind. And we got Chip at Regis Fear of Pythons in with us. Everybody, thank you for coming in today. Jesse, thanks for joining us. It's a real pleasure to have you in. I know when you said you'd come on the show, I was ecstatic because you've got some powerhouse stuff, dude. And like we were saying
Thank you for
backstage,
having me, man. Yeah.
you've got some killer stuff, and we're gonna get to showing some of that stuff off here later on in the show. Before
Awesome.
we get into all the questions and getting everybody to know you a little bit more on a personal level, I do have a few notes here. If anybody on here is not supporting US ARC already, get on it and start supporting them, because there was a legislation that got slipped into a bill, and it's some major stuff that's going to impact us as breeders and hobbyists. Basically, it affects the Lacey Act and transporting animals from state to state. Just from what I've gathered, the little bit that I did get a chance to read it, and it's some scary stuff because it could really do some damage for people that are breeding and selling reptiles and everything. It's some nasty, sneaky stuff that they pulled there with sneaking that one in, because like the bill's like 2,000 some odd pages. And I don't know about everybody else, but I don't like reading. I'm sure the politicians really don't read what they sign anyway. But we got our first bot. How in the world do you? That is the first time that's ever happened, Jesse.
Oh yeah. Hey man, just give me 1 second. I gotta be right back.
Yep, no problem. All right, so I'll go through here while he's doing whatever he's got to do. Mark, thank you for tuning in. And FNA Balls, thank you for tuning. What's up? Oh, what? It blocked Phil. How do I unblock Phil? How do I unblock? I gotta send Phil a message. I did not mean to. Keys, what's up? Bosa, thank you very much for tuning in. Does anybody know how to unblock somebody from StreamYard? Because I did not mean to block poor Phil, and now I feel terrible. I just sent him a message, and yeah. So just to keep up, let everybody in the loop here as far as what we have going on here for the rest of the month. Next Sunday, I will not be doing a live. I'm not going to try to compete with the Super Bowl. I'm just not going to do it. I'm pretty sure a lot of people on here are football fans. And okay, it says he's still on. Okay, maybe he's not blocked. That's odd. It said I blocked you by accident, Phil. Either way, hopefully you can still comment. Let a comment, Phil. Let me know you can still comment. I'm not going to try to compete with the Super Bowl. So next Sunday, we will not have a live, just because I doubt many people are going to be joining in. And originally, I was going to have Adam on from Proper Royals, and he brought up the point that it was Super Bowl Sunday, and it's like I'm not gonna, it was a good point, and I'm not going to try to compete with that. But after that, February 20th, we have Mark from 403 Fauna tuning in with us, and then the weekend after that, I have Kai from Lucas Landon Royals coming on. So we've got two great guys coming up and for the next two shows, and they're going to be awesome shows as well. So make sure everybody that's here, make sure you guys all tune in for those because you're not going to regret it. All right. Are you good, Jesse?
Hey, what's up, guys? Sorry about that.
No, you're good, bro. You're good. No worries. Hey, things pop up. Sometimes you got to run off. Just like Phil says he's still in the lobby. Somehow I blocked him. I don't think he can comment. I don't know how to unblock him to where he can comment, but hopefully I figure that out later. Because so while I try to figure this out, Jesse, tell us about yourself a little bit. Let me bring up the banners here, and there we go.
Yeah, my name is Jesse Music. Musical Pythons is the name I created. Music is my last name. Gotta fit really well. Musical. Sorry about that. We mainly here deal with recessive genes. Actually, I only have one non-visual in my collection. Actually, two. Sorry, I take that back. But they're both het. For a recessive gene, of course. That's our main focus, is progressing the recessive genetics. That's our little slogan, is recessive progression. It's another little hit on the music aspect, progression.
Music is beyond my talent, so.
Yeah, and unfortunately, I have no music talent either, man. I couldn't even play a music recorder in elementary school, man. It's hilarious. Yeah.
Hey, you're using it to your advantage, though.
Yeah. So, well, that's a little bit about me. We're here in Florida, Central Florida to be exact, really close to Orlando. I try to go to all the reptile shows when I can. So if you guys do see me, don't be scared to say hi. I do kind of shy and stick to myself, but I do like when people say hi.
I'm the same way, dude. I'm not a very how does Gershon say it? I guess I'm an introvert and extrovert. I'm more of an introvert. I stay to myself, but doing this is kind of my, like he says, it's my way of getting out of my comfort zone and just trying to get myself used to it. It's quite the experience.
It's definitely hard, man. And we were talking about before, man, it's one of the things I was really trying to do too, man, is get out of my comfort zone, introduce myself to people, really showcase myself and the stuff I work with, really.
No, I agree. Jeremy and Holly, I will have to try to do that. Go to YouTube settings and YouTube in the community tab to unblock somebody. Let me try something here once.
This is kind of why, I don't delve into doing YouTube myself, man. I'm not technologically crazy, and savvy, man.
Oh, dude, this is beyond my expertise here. I'm trying to. Where did they say to go? YouTube settings and the community tab. YouTube settings. Settings. Count. I am not seeing a community tab at all. All right. Well, we're just gonna. I'm sorry, Phil. I will try to figure this out, dude. I feel terrible, and thanks for dealing with me on this, Jesse. I feel.
Oh man, that's totally cool.
All right, so let's get into what incomplete dominant genes you're working with.
Okay. I got a lot in the recessive genes. Pastel, big one. Inchy, love Inchy. Cinnamon also is a really heavy hitter for me. GHI is a favorite, but unfortunately I only got one GHI in the collection so far. and it's one of those heavy staples.
I love
Mojave also.
GHI.
Mojave is a key for me. I really like Mojave. I wish it wasn't in the Bell complex because obviously you can get white snakes if you put it with certain things,
Yeah.
but love it.
Your GHI, is that by chance a GHI Mojave?
No,
Or
it's close. It's a GHI butter cinnamon
okay.
ghost. So it's
Okay.
pretty, yeah. It's one of those
That,
heavier ones too.
that GHI, I have a GHI Mojave, and he's like basically patternless on the sides. Absolutely blows my mind with how he is. And then
Mm.
I kept back, I'm sure you probably saw a picture of it, that GHI banana Mojave that I produced. And she's just stunning. I'm still trying to figure out what color she is. I think she's like a lavender color.
Yeah, oh
Partially
yeah.
one really kills you on trying to, pick stuff out. It really, really does. Let's see here. Guess Jeremy and Holly are laughing at my inability to YouTube studio settings. All right, now hold on here. Let me bear with me one more time here. We'll try this here real quick. YouTube studio.
Sorry for the cough.
No, you're good, dude. Settings. Community. Okay. Okay. Phil, comment. If you're still here, comment. Jeremy and Holly, I think, just pulled through for me on this. Once they maybe Phil left. Anyway, I did hit X on him, so he's not in the block list. So hopefully he can comment. Anyway, all right. There's John from Inquiline. Thanks for coming in. Diego from Petsotics. What's up? All right, let's get into more stuff here. What is, like, out of all the incomplete dominants, whether you have it or not in your collection, what is your favorite out of them all? If you could pick one, which one would you pick?
Man, that's super hard. Probably, I don't know, man. Probably Enchi, dude. To be honest, I
Enchi?
just love the way Enchi comes. Yeah, I just love how it works with everything, and then how it's really like with cinnamon and black pastel now, or how it's always been like that, but how it's known. I love the way it works. Yeah, like even in albino, love how it alters the colors and everything.
So what's your favorite? Like, is it just because of what it does with the colors, or like what's your thing that makes Enchi stand out for like solely for you?
Basically, man, it's hard to say, dude. It combos well with a lot of stuff for me, man. You know what I mean? Like the Pied's really what got me back into ball pythons. And once I figured out Enchi throws a lot of coloration back into Pied, it blew my mind. You know what I mean?
Okay.
And then with Clown, how it just does the opposite. It reduces, you know.
So I've got an Enchi Clown, and she's just awesome looking. She's actually my very first and only Enchi I have in the collection.
Mm-hmm.
But after getting her, it's like I'm ready to start adding more Enchi to it now.
Yeah.
He says he's got a lot of Enchi, including a couple Super Enchi males and females. Super Enchis, right. I love what Super Enchi does with the head stamp. I'm a big person that loves like head pattern. Oh, yeah, and the Super Enchi head patterns, I think, are just awesome. I love that arrowhead look it gives.
Oh yeah, like the male spot nose Enchi ghost male that I have has a sweet head stamp.
Yes, dude. I was actually gonna bring that one up. Can you bring that one out for us right now?
He's actually locked up right now.
Oh, okay. He's locked up.
Sorry.
So
he's locked
check out his Instagram, everybody, and all of his social media information should be in the description. I thought ahead on ours. Everything should be in the description there as far as his social media, his Morph Market, YouTube, Instagram, and Facebook. But that snake he was just talking about, the Enchi, Super Enchi spot nose.
No, just a spot nose Enchi ghost.
Just spot nose Enchi ghost. All right. Yeah. The thing looks insane. Like it absolutely. It looks like there's something else going on with it that it just looks crazy.
Yeah. To me, man, it almost looks Desert Ghost, man. It's nuts. It really is. It's crazy to me.
Let's say it's super clean. The head pattern, like you said, is wicked on it, and it just It is nuts. I'm not gonna lie, it is nuts. You've got a lot of stuff that I think is just nuts, to say the least.
Thank
So
you.
let's move on here. Recessive projects. What exactly? What recessives are you working with right now?
Right now, I have Xanthic, the DPI line, Xanthic to be specific. I have albino going right now, but I'm trying to phase out albino and bringing in Ultramel instead. But the Ultramel line I'm bringing in has VPI Xanthic in it as well, which I do have the double visual
So that thing's neat
VPI
looking.
Ultramel. Yeah, love that thing, man. And then Clown is another staple that I have a lot of. I'm really heavy into. Ghost is another one. Ghost / hypo. It's orange ghost as well, but I believe both of them are compatible. All three.
Okay.
I love Ghost, man. It's one of those ones that I think is way too underrated. And then Pied.
Ghost, Ghost, I'm so on the fence with. Like, there's certain things I like Ghost in, but then there's other things where Ghost just doesn't do it for me. It's kind of like Pied. I like some Pieds, but not all Pied do it for me. Like, it's got to be a
sure.
really low white Pied and just some crazy patterns, like some other really nice genes that kind of amp up the pattern on them. But I'm probably one of the weird ones that probably is going to say all that. It's just like Ultramel. Ultramel, like I told you, there's something to it, or else nobody, everybody wouldn't be going into a craze over it. But I just can't see it, and I think that's just physically my eyes just can't see it. Because even you said it's something where you got to see it more in person than anything.
And that's with the Pieds too, man. It's when you get 6, 7, 8 Pieds and then it turns out all high white. It's like, okay, well, it looks pretty much the same as a normal high white Pied to me.
Yeah, that's kind of, I guess, where my whole thing with it is why I like the low whites, because you said if you get a high white Pied, they all look the same. Half the time, it's a lot of the whole body's white and you have the head colored, and that's it.
Exactly.
And it just kind of, I don't know. I like pattern. I love to see pattern.
Yeah, the pattern alternating genes are awesome.
Oh, they are. Like my favorite would be leopard. I love leopard, but I'm loving what acid does now. Like acid to me is just poof, mind blowing with how that what that does to pattern. It is absolutely nuts. Your Ultramel Xanthic, can you pull that one out for us?
Yeah.
So I learned this trick last week. We'll switch this up. Get rid of this. Let's see here. We'll do this and we'll get rid of this banner. So that way we got full view of this beauty. See, now that looks neat. I don't know what color I'm seeing, but I can see that the Xanthic's like definitely taking out the yellow in it.
Oh yeah.
Now, what color would you say is what would normally be, I guess, purple on an Ultramel? Like, what color has that made the purple color?
Like almost like super light caramel.
Okay.
Like mocha caramel, like coffee caramel. It's
okay.
Very light, snowy.
That's a beautiful snake. Absolutely beautiful snake.
Thank you.
And it looks like
the cameraman doesn't quite do it justice, but
cameras never do snakes justice. It's probably one of my biggest pet peeves about cameras is that just one time I want the camera to actually make the snake look good. Like they never do it.
And for comparison, this is just the Ultramel het for DPI.
Yeah, see now that is night and day difference. That is night and day difference.
Yeah.
You got a lot of people loving up on that Ultra Snow of yours.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I can't believe it's not a bigger project, man. Well, there's literally like one guy in the project that I've seen working with it on Morph Market at least, and he's the only one I've ever heard talking about it when I was talking to him. So it's crazy, to be honest.
And so I wonder, that's one thing that always kind of boggles my mind as far as like how, like you would think out of our whole hobby, there would be more, I don't want to say, I guess more diversity in all the projects, but it seems like everything kind of goes to like these main staples and no one really likes to venture out a little bit and get a little daring, I guess. And that's, I gotta commend you on that because I mean, I think there is something where it catches my eye, and I would love to see that thing in person, just so hopefully my eyes could actually get the true beauty of it.
Yeah. And I got the big plans for it too, man. I'm super excited, but 2 years out because it's a female.
Oh, that's the biggest thing that just that growing up process, dude. I have an TSK Xanthic Orange Dream sitting in my grow up rack, and it is killing me. I mean, it just seems like now that I have girls, some of my girls breeding, obviously I have one season under my belt going on too, but just the anticipation because I have such big plans for this Orange Dream Xanthic. It's just like it seems like it's just going so much slower than all the others did.
Yeah,
oh, it's so
exactly. Like,
aggravating.
man, I have such a sleeper ghost girl, man, that's just sitting on the rack. She's a bigger one. I'll show off if you don't mind.
Yeah, go
Um,
ahead, go get her.
she's another combo, man, that I've never heard of before. It's called a Cynical Orange Ghost. It's a
Oh, I've
cinnamon
never heard of that.
calico orange ghost. And she is so awesome. I once again saw it. I can't believe
Oh
it's
wow.
not heavier.
Yeah, let
And I have
me.
a cinnamon ghost as well too. I'll pull her out to just compare. But she is just
I say her colors. I can only
beautiful.
imagine what she looks like in person.
And her head is just solid. Black eyes, nice
I say she
gray
pops.
head.
She pops. I think that's what I think. The ghost I think works really good with like there's cinnamon. I do like what cinnamon or what Mojave and Ghost do. I
Hmm.
almost did drop the hammer on Mojave Ghost, but then I think that was it was either the Mojave Ghost or I would get my GHI Mojave, and the GHI Mojave won that one.
And this is just the cinnamon ghost version. So the
Okay.
calico really darkens it up.
Yeah,
And
I say there's a
it's just
big difference there.
and it's a low expression calico because it doesn't have the super white speckling in the bottom of the tail, or it's cinnamon making it low expression. I'm not sure what's going on there.
Yes, yeah. I don't know what cinnamon does as far as I always thought calico was I don't want like a very strong expression
Dominant
gene.
gene, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Because it's not an incomplete, right? It is a dominant.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, I don't. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is. I'm 99% sure calico's a dominant. Jeremy and Holly want to know how's the ultrasounding going.
Pretty good. I did some ultrasounding today actually on some females. Going slower than I anticipated. And that's one of the negatives I found out about the ultrasound, man, is it's a cool tool to have, but as soon as you seeing your girls and they're not growing like you wanted to, it's like, okay, well, cool.
See,
Now I get to just watch you like drawing paint. Like,
I'm right there with you on that one. I have my lesser platinum girl that I've paired to my GHI Mojave male. She's got follicles probably about the size of nickels right now. Now she's
okay.
the only one that when I palpate, I actually feel follicles at all. And
Mhm.
I've noticed that I can only normally start picking them up when they start hitting about that dime size to about the nickel size is when I start noticing them. And all my other girls, they're all of them are staying on the warm side of the tub. So it's kind of like, what the hell's going on to begin with? But
Right.
it's really got me kind of baffled and thinking it's like I really need to invest in an ultrasound here this season and quit playing the unknown game and just know for sure, just be able to plug it in and just check them with it.
Huh.
I think that'd be
Well,
a
yeah,
complete game changer.
Well, now that you brought it up, man, with the palpating, I used to suck at palpating, man. I couldn't do it for nothing. That's why I wanted the ultrasound so bad. But now that I do know the size, I'm gonna start re-practicing trying to palpate and like, judging that size, feeling them. If I know that they're at like 28 millimeters, I should be able to feel them, at that point.
Yeah. Like I know a lot of people, some of these guys, they can palpate and they're like, oh yeah, they can feel like even when they're about the size of a pea.
Yeah,
Well,
exactly. Yeah.
I'm like I'm feeling through these females and I'm hearing gurgling noises as they're sliding through my fingers. It's like I don't feel
Yeah,
anything remotely that feels like a pea or any of that stuff. And it just
exactly.
I don't know. Maybe I'm not doing it right. I do
Yeah,
when the follicles get about the size of like a ping pong ball, I really know what I'm feeling then.
exactly. Yeah. Like
That's when
yeah,
it's
for sure
super
there's something in
easy.
there. Yeah, literally.
And then plus then at that point you know something's gonna happen, or at least 98% sure something's gonna happen.
Hmm.
But like right now, it's got me baffled. Like I said, I mean, because my double hat, because of my most anticipated clutch of this year is double hat, Exantic, and Desert Ghost.
Awesome.
So
Sweet.
I've switched over. Originally, that female was just getting a leopard lesser spot nose
Hmm.
male, and then I switched partway through here with the help of Phil, which I sadly blocked by accident, and Angie and Jeff at Celtic Balls. They really
Nice.
pushed me. They're like, dude, go for the double head because it's going to take
Hmm.
the 2-3 years to grow up. It's like, yeah, you got a good point.
Hmm.
So I went with that and palpated her, and it's like I don't feel nothing. All the other females except for that one, which my lesser didn't go last year for me. So I'm thinking that's why she's
Okay.
so ready to go this year.
Probably.
So
Yeah.
hopefully that's what happens, and hopefully things go in the right direction for everything.
Hmm.
I want to hit 5 clutches this year. That's my goal.
Nice. Nice. Nice.
How
Yeah. I hit.
while we're talking about that, how many females are you breeding this season?
This season, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Probably about 15.
Okay, so you got a lot of expecting clutches then, hopefully for this
Yeah,
season.
I'm hoping my goal is 10 for sure. I want to hit double digits, man. That's what I really want to do.
So I hope you
Um,
get it, dude. That would be nice. That would be.
mhm.
I hope you get them all. In all
Yeah,
honesty, but I
yeah,
mean,
definitely.
hey, hitting that double digit mark would just be awesome. I think as well.
Hmm.
Let's see here. We went. What's your favorite recessive, whether you have it or not? What is your by far favorite recessive and why?
Another super hard one, man. I'll have to go with Pied, dude. Pied, because 4 or 5 years ago when I got back into ball pythons, it was the Pied, dude. I saw a picture of a Pied and it blew my mind, dude. I had to have it, you know what I mean? I loved it, fell in love with it, and now you're starting to see these crazy more double, triple recessives and Pied combos higher, or sorry, lower white, because lower white is better in my opinion. But still,
Completely
like,
agree.
the hypo ultramel pieds are insane, man. I love it. The DG pieds, the DG cryptic pied that Billy has is freaking amazing, dude. I can't wait to see other combinations. Even like the ultramel snow. Like I might go pied boy with that to try to hit the ultramel snow pied, which for triple exanthic or double, go for doubles or for quads rather. That'd
Dude,
be super sweet.
as I say,
Yeah.
going for that quad, dude. If you could get it started on that this early, wow.
Mhm. Yeah. Because, like you're saying, the DG Exanthic, man, is amazing snake, dude. So I couldn't imagine seeing that in Pied or anything
God.
like that.
Hey, I have to admit, like after seeing Justin throw make that DG Exantic clown,
Dude,
my jaw
literally.
dropped because I already have like my first season. I did make double hat Exantic clown, so
Mhm.
I have the ingredients for that. Now I'm going for the DG Exantic.
Yeah,
So I'm setting trying to set myself up to be able to hit that combo in the near future.
yeah.
But I mean, trying to hit the double head odds and actually landing on the double head, think that's like what, 1 in 16 maybe, if I'm not mistaken, something
Um,
like that.
yeah, I believe
And
so.
my luck sucks, so I'm not banking. I just accept that I might hit one or the other, probably not both.
Yeah, like my first season, I made triple heads, so I'm in the same boat pretty much.
Oh,
I did a clown to a VPI albino, so they're all triple head clown VPI albinos. And
oh,
this
Gershon,
year,
if he was here, dude, he would love that because I think he made albino clowns here last season, if I'm not mistaken. If he was in
yeah,
here, I wish he was. He could correct me, but he made some albino clown stuff, and I have to say, albino clown stuff looks neat.
no,
I
yeah,
really
definitely.
think that looks neat.
I've seen pictures of them, man, and they look super cool. I just haven't had the chance to see an albino clown in person. Um, but this year I'm repeating not that same exact pairing, but I am repeating the triple het pairing. It's just going to be the Fire Mystic Leopard Clown to the VPI Snow to try to
Oh,
go for um, the the triple incomplete dominant to the triple recessive or het rather. Because I did
so
get one female from the last pairing or last year's clutch. I only hit one. It was a 6.1 clutch, so pretty bad with
oh,
the
so
odds, lucky this time.
you were super male heavy.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, I think that's the one thing that got me like with this season. Like I had 4 clutches. All of them were female heavy except for one, and
Mm,
that was of course my DG clutch. I was going for just making hats. That was
yeah,
all males except for 2 females. So I had a
yeah.
3.2. But
Mhm.
other than that, all the other clutches were basically like 1 point. I think my first clutch was a 2.5,
Mhm.
and my banana clutch was all females, like
Nice.
completely everything banana or not because the is the banana.
Awesome.
So all the
Yeah.
banana stuff was females, and even the regular pastavia I produced that was a female as well. I was like, wow, this is freaking awesome. I mean, and I couldn't believe it. I like double, triple, and quadruple checked the stuff just because it's like
Yeah.
I'm missing something. And it's like, no, it's like it's all female. I couldn't believe it.
Yeah,
It was
exactly. I went and brought a probe kit, man. I was like, no way, dude. I hit freaking 6 males, dude. Went and got a probe kit, probed them all up, yeah, and guaranteed. Yeah. But thankfully, the one female I did hit, super funky. I don't know what's going on there. I might have blade in my clown or something in the snow. I just don't know.
is she available to pull out and show
Yeah, for
everybody?
sure. So this is my first holdback ever I produced. So, and she's getting pretty big. She's almost a year old now. Like I said, with the pairing, it should have just been a quote unquote normal.
Yeah, there's
But
definitely something going on there with that.
yeah,
At least I
it's
think to my eyes, I mean, that one's super, super clean and the
super
banding is
banded.
nice.
Yeah, no alien heads really. There might be like one or two keyholes on her, and she's super orange, man. Like I
I
said,
said
she's
that's nice.
in
That
April
is
she'll be a
nice.
year old.
So you only got another how many grams is she at roughly?
Roughly almost 300.
Okay.
So she's got about a year. So
So
that's
that's
why this year, if I hit the male, hopefully they'll line up.
Keys says that's not a normal. I agree, Keys. That's something else.
Yeah.
All right.
So that's one exciting thing. So if I hit a freaking Fire Mystic Leopard triple het male and put it to her, I might hit some. Who knows, man? Might be something crazy, dude.
I
So
say
that'll be a very exciting one.
the combos you said that you had going on for this season, dude. Wow. It's some top notch stuff.
Appreciate it, man. I'm really excited for this season. Last season was super exciting because it's your first season. It was my first season breeding, first time getting eggs. I ended up hitting 4 clutches. Super exciting, going through the first steps of everything, producing my first stuff. Producing that awesome pied clutch, man, was always a goal of mine to hit pieds. And then to hit some of the combos I hit, man, it's freaking amazing, dude. It just
Now you said you got 4 clutches and last year was your first season. So how many pairings did you do? Did you just do 4? Or
No,
did you do
I did 6 pairings last year.
Okay. Okay. So you and I are both basically right neck and neck there with how the
Mhm.
odds favored us as far as giving us clutches then.
Yep. And my 2 oldest girls are the 2 ones that have not given me clutches yet, surprisingly. I can't believe it, yeah.
Well, how old were the ones that gave you the clutches? Were they like basically right
Um,
there at the 2 to 3 year or
yeah, right there at the 2 to 3 year. One was actually right at like 1,500 grams, man. And
Okay.
she locked up like once and laid freaking 3 months later, dude. It was nuts. I couldn't believe it.
Oh,
It was one of the pairings that I didn't even really think of doing. It was just suggested to me actually by Billy. He was like, "Man, just do it, dude." And I did it and freaking got eggs right away. I was like, "Wow, okay, cool."
dude, Billy
Dude,
get
honestly.
like I hit Billy up every once in a while. Billy gives great advice. And then he had that Q&A today. I ended up missing that.
Hmm.
Or
I was
yeah,
in
yeah,
it
that
for a
was
little
today,
bit.
right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
But ended up
I was
missing
in it
that
for a little
because
bit.
I had to take my wife out for her birthday supper. So,
Oh
to
wow.
say the wife had she overrode, the Q&A and stuff. So I always like tune into those because you learn so much. And it's stuff like if I may not be thinking of it at the time, but someone else is thinking it and he answers it and it's like, oh shoot, why didn't I think of that? Or
Exactly.
that's how
Yeah.
you go about that. Just amazing, amazing advice from that man. All right, let's see here. While we're on the recessive stuff, how about the the pastel banana enchi pied? Can we see
Mhm.
that one? Because that
Oh
thing
yeah.
there,
She
that thing there is awesome. I loved seeing that thing on your Instagram.
she is definitely my most feisty snake I've ever had or produced. So
Of course, that's the. Let's see what everybody else says here. Phil says he hoped you hit 10 clutches or more. Let me switch you over here to the big screen.
there she is.
Dude, that's nuts.
Super low
That
white like we
is,
were talking about.
and the
Bunch of color
colors on
too.
her too. I mean, she just pops.
Oh yeah.
I'm curious. I'd be curious to see what she looks like as an adult with how she retains her
Hmm.
colors or not. Because I
Well,
know
and
my
that's the other
pastel.
thing.
Oh, go
Go ahead.
ahead. Go ahead. No, you go
Um,
first.
yeah, she just tried to get me. Definitely the most, like I said, most spicy snake I've ever had. This whole clutch, man, is crazy with the pieds, dude. They're all, as soon as they shed their first time, they're all trying to bite, get me. Went on rat pups right away. Super sweet. A lot of people say pieds are kind of finicky, man, but uh,
I have not. That's one like out of all my clutches, none of them were feisty. I should knock on wood on that one, but none of them were feisty. They were all just kind of your typical puppy dog ball python. Like if anything, they want to come out and be held too much with you. Like I did have my pastel G or my GHI Mojave banana. She's the only one that bit me, and that's because I opened up the tub at night and went in way too quick, and it was a feeding response, I think.
mhm.
And I just basically spooked her. She struck, and it was just a quick tag. But
Yeah.
that was the only one of the hatchlings that bit me, and she's normally one of the nicest ones.
Mhm. Well, and then like we were talking about how the banana's aging, man. This is her mom. I've been told by people that she might be a special line of banana. I don't know if yours pastel banana ages this way too, but she's pretty much gray.
See, mine, in all honesty, mine didn't get gray. That's really neat looking. I thought maybe that was just the way the picture was on your Instagram because I did see that, but I didn't
Yeah, no,
realize that that was an actual banana though.
yeah,
I
she's like
thought that
cookies and
was
cream.
something completely different.
No, pastel banana pod. And like I said, I've been told she might be a special line of banana called Blue Steel. Once again, I'm
Oh,
not sure about that. Gonna have to raise up that other female and really see.
because Yeah, I've never heard of the blue steel before either. That's crazy.
Yeah, look like how she spots up like a normal banana, but she's literally gray, like I said, cookies and cream is what I'd consider her.
Yeah, yeah, that's exactly what I'm seeing in her too. That's crazy, dude. Because my pastel banana, she doesn't have very many spots on her, and on to top it off, like her colors really didn't get bad as she got older. If anything, her oranges are like very vibrant. Her like the pinky lavender colors are like intense. Like she actually got way better as she got older.
Hmm.
So it's I don't know, because I've seen some bananas where they kind of get, I don't want to say ugly, but they definitely do that browning out thing, and it kind of dulls the colors out like crazy.
Yeah.
But with her, she just stayed super, super bright, and that one there, wow!
Mhm.
Like I want to see what if that proves out to be something, or who knows? Maybe you got something that's one of a kind, and
Exactly. Yeah. With the babies, well, like I said, I'm super glad I got one of the females to hold back again too, man. So I can really see what is going on with that. And then
yeah.
I got her brother too to hold back. He's super pastel banana pied, but he has a little
Oh,
bit of a overbite, so he got a little bit of shark mouth going on. So I'm gonna say I'm keeping him, dude. You know.
so I've never personally seen the shark mouth like in person. I've never seen one, so I'm kind of like, can you actually see like the roof of their top jaw? No, it's just like a
Not with this
perfect.
one.
It's just like
With
a
this guy,
perfect.
it's very, 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 very subtle with this one, man.
Okay.
The thing is with the danger with it is if it's too far back, like this on the back jaw, when they try to bite their prey, their nose hits it, and they can't
Oh,
grab it
okay.
with the bottom jaw. But with him, it's only like
Just slightly off.
naturally, it's about it is a little bit over naturally, but with him, it is about a little
Just
bit
a,
off. You know what I mean? But
gotcha.
he once again he was feisty, just like all his brothers and sisters, popping at me when I was trying to get him all entangled, and then he took a rat very first time, just with all his other buddies. So
See
he's
that things like the feistier they are, like you said, they're more likely to eat right off the start. I had a
exactly.
few out of my clutches that were giving me some issues, but um, I did have one. It was my spot. It was my Bumblebee Orange Dream. He shed out. I put him into his own tub then, and the next day was feeding day, and I had one rat pup that didn't get eaten. Somebody, I forget which one it was, but somebody didn't want to eat.
Mm.
And I thought, well, it's worth it. It's a long shot, but let's try it. And I opened that tub up, and I mean, he just smashed it. And I was surprised. And he's actually, I think he's the biggest hatchling out of all the four clutches. He's the biggest, and he was the second to last clutch to hatch.
Wow. So he caught right
So,
up.
as yeah, he's a pig in his own way.
It's funny.
All right, let's say hi to a few people that did pop in here. We got Old Devil popped in. Thank you for tuning in. We've got Lady Tiz Exotics. She popped in. See who else I missed here. Phil said 60 to 100 hatchlings. It gets real, real fast. He's
Yeah.
talking about with the 10 clutches thing. Okay, there we go.
Yeah.
I think I'm possibly up to date with everybody that's in here. We got Keys, we got Snakes for the Memories, Jeremy and Holly. We got Kai, Phil, which Phil, again, dude, I am so sorry I blocked you. I was trying to get that bot, and you must have commented at the right time. And yeah, my bad. That's how you know it's alive. So, do you keep any other species like pythons, lizards, anything other than ball pythons?
Um, Not myself. My wife has a pet turtle and a pet
Okay.
leopard gecko. I mean,
What kind of turtle?
I believe it's a yellow belly slider. I don't know. It was one of the ones that was on the side of the road down here in Florida. You'll see little guys posted up on the side of the road and a pickup truck selling the little dollar
Oh,
turtles.
okay.
So my wife pulled over one day and bought a turtle, and he's been around for 5, 6 years now. Man, he's just trucking along, dude. He's a cool little guy.
So I had a red ear slider as a kid. Actually, I had two of them, and I had box turtles growing up, which I thought box turtles were awesome. red-eared slaughters were cool too, but after a while, like, it just seemed like no matter what you could do, like the aquariums always had an odor, and like you just could not
Yeah.
get rid of it.
Yeah, it's the
So
water, man. Like I try to avoid water now, man. I used to always love fish tanks and stuff, man, but it always has to keep up with the water and calcification and all this stuff that the water deals with, man. It's like it's
it,
something that I
it,
just try to
it
avoid.
becomes too much. It's too much work for the enjoyment it's supposed to be.
Yeah. But I mean, I understand the enjoyment of it, man. You know, I mean, I used to be able to sit there and just watch my fish for hours, dude. You know, it's almost better than a TV at sometimes when you're stressed out and stuff, man. Really.
Well, that is true. Kai says he loves Eastern box turtles. Kai, I remember when I was a kid, like, granted, I find them outside, out in the wild, but my grandmother and I would walk down her street because she lived at the end of the woods. And her road she lived on went right down through the woods. And we would legit walk down there almost every day. And at least once a week, we would find a wild box turtle, like just sitting there along the roads or, crossing or whatever. And sometimes I'd take them back, and other times I'd just put them on the other side of the road from where they were heading. And mind you, I was just a kid. I was like 8, 9 years old in that, year range. But now I can't remember the last time I actually saw one. I mean,
Wow.
like Kai says can't catch and release them anymore. Kai, you got to find them to catch and release them. Like, I haven't seen one out in the wild in years. I mean, it's been so long, and they were so neat. I actually found one. We had horses, and I found one while we were riding a horse. I mean, this sucker was huge. It's a huge male, and it had like an indent in the shell, like humongous indent. To this day, I have no idea what would have caused it or anything, but it was the most unique looking thing I've ever seen on a wild turtle like that.
Huh.
But anyway, enough about turtles. Your dream combo. What would be your dream combo to produce? And it could be anything. It could be, you don't even have to have it in your collection to make it. Just if you compare like your dream combo.
See, like with the future, it's hard because I have my projects that I already have envisioned that are kind of my dreams already. You know what I mean? So I'm trying to make those concluded. So, so to add other projects, probably going the route of the Ultra Snow, adding some DG in there, making it brighter, adding some other genes like Inchy and Fire, maybe some Mojave in there to change up the patterning a little bit would be, I think, epic, man. You know what I mean? I couldn't even fathom what it would look like, but it's a dream for sure.
Oh, I bet you it would. Now, out of what you're able to do now, or what you're hoping to do with what you have right now, what is your dream combo that you want to produce? Like within like the next year, 2 years, 3 years, out of your personal stuff.
Well, I'm really hoping my big leopard spot nose het 66% het clown really proves out, because once again she's one of my oldest girls. Really have invested a lot of time with her, man. Really hope, and the Fire Mystic Leopard Clown's gonna go to her to prove her out. So if I can hit some Fire Mystic Batmans, man, that would be freaking insane.
That would be
possible
nuts.
Super Leopard too. So Super Leopard Batmans would also be a chance.
Now, as far as like the Super Leopard stuff, do you think you can tell the difference between the leopard and a Super Leopard, or you think that it's more of you just have to prove it out? Or
yeah, I think it's just gonna have to prove it out, man. It's pretty rough, dude, because they look like exactly the same. I've seen pictures of them, and I personally can't tell the difference,
Okay. And so that's kind of where I was sitting at it, where I visually don't see it, but then there's some things where I don't pick it out as far as being markers and stuff that other people can pick out and be like, yep, there it is. That's it.
Yeah. Well, same thing with like the Krypton Cryptic thing, man. Cryptic and Krypton, some people say they can tell the difference, man, but I can't tell any difference between the two.
The only thing I saw was like there was something about the eye stripes. But even then, I mean, I have some snakes that have eye stripes that kind of look identical to that, and they're neither. So it's just kind
Yeah,
of like, I guess it's one of those things where if you work the project long enough, you
I'm
can
sure.
pick that stuff out, and if you know what's there, you can be like, okay, well, that's it there. You can pick it out. But if it just randomly pops up, like I don't know, I wouldn't be able to tell you one way or the other. I'd think it was just a unique thing for that because I think the eye
Mhm.
stripes are wider on them. Well, the
Yeah,
eye
bigger
stripes are
eyelids.
wider on an Enchi.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So I don't know. Let's see here. John says Monsoon Batman Exantic. I think that would be and that there would be an awesome animal, John. I think that would be absolutely awesome. Monsoon's something that's on my radar. I don't know about you, Jesse, but
No, it
Monsoon's on
is.
my
Yeah.
radar. I want the price tag to come down.
Yeah, I
That's
want
what
to
I'm
see
looking.
something tone down the pattern a little bit. You know what I mean? I love the pattern, but it's just so overwhelming to everything put into it so far, man. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, it does. I mean, it is crazy looking. I will say that. But
I think
in
it's
all
sick because of
honesty,
it.
I know it's not a monsoon, but something that really caught my eye that looks very similar. I talked about it in, I think it was my last live, is if you put acid with a bumblebee leopard,
Hmm.
that makes something very similar that looks very monsoon-ish, but
Mhm.
not quite as busy.
Yeah.
And I
Okay.
mean, it was definitely something where it caught my eye. Let me see if I can't pull it up here quick because it was something. I think it was on Morph Market. Um, uh, Good thing acid's up top.
Mhm. But who
So,
knows? Like I said, you put like G Stripe and Monsoon together. What in the world that's gonna look like?
well, yeah, I mean that you start. Like you said, you start mixing certain things. I mean, it's gonna. Here we go. Hopefully. Uh, really? There, there we go.
Oh yeah,
I mean, that's
definitely.
to me very monsoon like, but
Hmm.
not quite as busy.
It definitely has the thicker blotches to it.
Yeah, I mean that. I want to get into acid. I mean, I think for almost even just single gene acids are not cheap.
Hmm.
But
Yeah, I've seen the acid hypo combos for the
oh,
Gale
dude,
has.
that would look. I bet you that would look nice. I'd have to look at those, but I bet you that would look nice.
Hmm.
Phil says, "Create what you think will be cool, John." I agree with you there, John. I mean, Phil, you got to go with what you love. I don't know what you think about that, Jesse, but I mean, if you're doing it as a business, yeah, you got to think a little bit as far as financial, what's going to sell, what's going to be worth your time. But at the same time, you got to love what you're making.
Exactly, man. And it takes a long time too, man. It's not like it's an overnight thing, so you can just dig through it and grind through the pain, man. You
Oh
should
yeah,
really do it, like you said, because you love it, man. If you wake up every morning excited to see your snakes, it's gonna make your life a whole lot easier, man. 'Cause every day I come into my snake room excited to see which one's where, which one's happy. You know what I mean? It's awesome.
that's how I am. I have this really awesome man cave, or at least I think it's awesome. I mean, it's got all my Star Wars stuff up on it, and I used to be up there all the time. But at the same time, the snakes used to be up there.
Yeah,
Now that the snakes are down here in their own room, guess where I'm at more often than any? I'm down here now. So I've come to the conclusion it wasn't really the man cave that kept me going up there. It was more the snakes. Because
mm,
like I can be down here, I can be doing stuff, I can be working on YouTube stuff. And I got the carpets still, in their enclosures where I can fully see them and watch them because they're more exciting than ball pythons. They actually move.
yeah.
I mean, nothing's more exciting than being hunted while you're working. I mean, let's face it. But I mean,
Yeah.
it's just like, I mean, just even being down here now, if you see me look off to the sides because I see somebody moving up along the front of the tubs and it catches my eye, and I just have to look to see which one it is. And
Yeah, definitely.
I just love being around them. It's like you
Hmm.
open up the tub, if no one's getting ready to shed, you open it up, did this one shed today? Or it's always something exciting going on, I think.
Yeah, definitely, exactly.
Phil says acid is a cool project. John says, I'm at 9 snakes now. Maybe when I get to 50, I'll be more satisfied with my collection. John, I'd be happy at 9. I mean, I'm at almost 30, including hatchlings. And it, I think the more, and you can probably, everybody that's probably got a decent amount of animals in their collection, the more you get, it seems like you don't get to spend as much time with each one that you once you were able to do. So it kind of stinks, in my opinion, at that point. So I try to give everybody as much, get them out, at least a couple times a week and handle them. I don't know if you do that, Jesse, but just get them out, let them stretch their bodies out a little bit and get some exercise.
Yeah.
Now,
I definitely like to handle mine to keep them a little less food driven, So every time you open the tub, they don't think they're about to eat,
That's a good
That
point,
helps
too.
a
That's a
lot.
very good point. Now, is this Justin Music? Is this a father or brother?
Yeah, that's
No
actually my
relation
uncle.
possibly at all?
Yeah, it's my uncle Justin. Yeah,
Oh,
he's
okay.
he actually helps me out with all this stuff, and he's a big part of helping me too. So he's a big
Oh,
support. Yeah.
awesome. Well, thank you for
Yeah.
tuning in, Justin. I appreciate you coming in here and watching us and joining us. And Chip says snakes are like potato chips. You can't stop at one. That is so true.
Yeah, exactly. And then they make cooler ones every year.
Oh, and then once you start producing babies, then it gets even worse. I mean, it's hard to
Oh, dude,
decide
yeah.
what stays and what goes because I wanted to keep everything. And it's like,
Oh, dude, yeah.
you got to pick and choose, but it's like, which one do you pick and choose?
Exactly.
All right, let's see here. All right, this isn't a topic on that I have on here. At least not that yet. No, I don't. Is there one reptile amphibian that you would ever want to own or get into, like start breeding them?
Maybe not necessarily start breeding them, but I definitely want to get into the green tree pythons, man.
Oh,
Those were once, when I was a kid, man, staple of my childhood. I used to have a little kid's book called Birdie. I read it was about a snake that changed colors and was upset because he was born yellow and he had to turn green and find his place in life. It was just a really good book for me, and I always set place in my heart, man. So that's why one day I will have a green tree python, probably just as like a display animal in the corner of my room, just chilling up
dude,
on a branch.
they are beautiful. I had one. Oh shoot, it was probably 15 years ago, roughly. I had one, and it was a Biak, and thing was beautiful. It had some blues in it, but it was very high yellow expression on it. And she was an angel during the day. Like you reach in there, no problem, pull her out, no problem at all. But at nighttime, she was a completely different animal. You couldn't even get near the cage, or she'd be striking at the glass just trying to get you because she
Oh,
thought
wow.
everything was food. So it was
Mm,
like a night and day. You had to stay away from her cage at night because I didn't want her to hurt herself. But
yeah,
oh my
exactly.
god,
Yeah.
they were so beautiful. Such a neat animal to work with. I think that's part of the reason why I wanted to get into the carpets because they're
Mm,
similar, but they get a little bit more size to them, and they're I think a little bit easier to care for than what the green
okay.
trees are. And I thought they'd be a little bit less nippy, but my one's nippy, my other one's not that nippy. But Zena's doing better, thank God.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Mark says he wants an axolotl. Unfortunately, they're illegal here in California.
Wow.
So my
I didn't know
niece
they were
wanted to
illegal.
get an
Okay.
axolotl, or however you actually say that.
Mhm.
And my brother, he says no to. He told him, you can't get a puppy or anything. They already have a cat. They had a gerbil or a hamster that passed away, and they wanted to get an axolotl. And surprisingly, my brother said okay to it. And they went to the local pet shop because I told them, find out what you need for it, do your research. I was like, if you end up saying, okay, we are actually going to do this, I'll take you to a reptile show and we'll get you one.
Hmm.
Well, apparently for the setups for those things, it's like massively expensive for a good setup. And after
Oh
he
wow.
saw what you were looking at for like the setup, you had to have like a heater for them to keep the water at a certain temp. I mean, just the care for them, I guess, is a little bit more intense than what I would have thought.
Huh.
And he said, no, we're not doing it now. So I felt so
Yeah.
bad for him because it's like they actually had him say okay to one pet, and then it was just too much.
Yeah, that's rough.
Let's see here. All right. All right. What's one project that you want to see yourself get into in another year or two?
Another year or two. I'm making my way that way with the triple het, but I really want to get into Exanthic Clown, the double
Okay.
het, or the double visual. I think it's gonna be awesome getting some more combos into seeing the other stuff like the leopard, Exanthic Clown, and everything like that. Man, I think that's, and once again, I think that's the way the hobby's going too, man. Is the double, triple visual recessives.
Oh,
And it's
definitely.
just gonna be the big hitters, man.
Now, is there a certain line of Exantic that catches your eye more than
Uh,
others? I mean, I know like you've got what 4 different lines: TSK, VPI, MJ, something else.
yeah, I don't know the fourth line. Mojif, Mojif, I believe
Yeah,
it's
that's
called.
it. Uh,
Um,
yeah,
but
John.
I
Yeah.
I do like the look of SK. It's just not worked with enough, I believe. So I really wanted to go with VPI because just have that genetic pool.
Oh, okay. I say if you want SK stuff, I can hook you up with SK stuff.
But now that I went with the one way, man, I don't want
Oh
to
yeah, no, I don't,
get
dude.
all of it, man.
At one time, I had before I had this full more of a trying to make this into an actual thing mindset. I thought,
Mm.
well, if I got a VPI, paired it up to the SK, and made a double het of that, no matter what, you were golden because you could pair either or to it, and then it'd just
Yeah.
be het whatever the other one wasn't. But then it's like, people aren't really going to go for that out in the ball python world. They're really not going to be drawn to that one. So I had to ditch that crazy idea.
Yeah, and then Black Exanthic came out, man. Black Exanthic looks awesome. I don't know if you've seen anything about that.
I think didn't Justin put something up about Black Exantic? Because it
Yeah.
caught my I really liked what I saw, but I haven't really seen much. Like I haven't really looked into it much. Because I always thought like Exantic was just getting rid of the yellow pigment. So I didn't understand what Black Exantic was. I know the red Exantic, I'm assuming, just takes away some of the red pigment, which does some really neat looking things from what I saw.
Mhm.
But do you know more of what the Black Exantic actually does? Or is it
It
just
looks like just to be heavier blacks, man. Like the deeper tone, like how DG makes the blacks like really solid black. It looks like it's doing that and making heavier black saturations in the patterning along with getting rid of the yellow. So I think
okay? So you're getting a little bit
one
more of
of the
that
keys.
more intense contrast.
Darkness, yeah, exactly. Like a lot of people are wanting to get that like IMG boa look, the super incandescent
Yes.
blackness. I think that would be so awesome in a ball python, but it's finding what to make it,
Dude, my buddy Mike breeds boas, and if you could get ball pythons in some of the colors that these boas are in, like you can get some hatchlings that are in these colors that the boas are in, but the hatchlings don't stay the colors like the boas do. Like,
Yeah.
it's just he's got this one, I forget what it is, and it's like a sharp albino something or other. Anyway, I mean, this thing's like yellow.
Yeah.
And it's got like almost like hot pink, almost like it's not hot pink, it's almost like a sky blue flecking into it. It's just like you're never gonna get a ball python that I can think of to do that, or the sun dragon, which is like neon orange. I've
Yeah.
yet to see a ball python that looks the way that it does at all. mean, boas are definitely, they're their own thing, but man, are they awesome.
Oh yeah.
And the IMG stuff, that's one thing that drew me to him because he has a bunch of IMG stuff. And I told him, I was like, dude, it's like one of these days I will have an IMG boa from you because they are just, I don't know. I don't know if it's the fact you don't know what you're going to fully end up with because they're each of them. Some of them are really high black, and other ones, they kind of stay on more on the lighter side. It's just a neat thing.
Yeah, definitely.
Moon, thanks for joining us. Moon says hi, Jesse.
Hey, what's up, Moon? Thank you.
And Hales says hello to everybody. Thanks for tuning in, you guys. Greatly appreciate it. Excuse me. All right, let's see here. Where are we at here? Here's a good question. How do you feed your collection? Do you breed your own stuff? Do you buy your rodents or live, frozen, thawed?
I do a mixture, yeah. I breed, and then I do go purchase what I need left.
Okay. And then on top of it, if anybody here in the comments here, if anybody has questions for Jesse, feel free to put them in there, and I will try to catch them. I try to keep up to date now more a little bit, getting a little bit better with keeping an eye on the comments. So if anybody has questions for Jesse, throw them in there, and hopefully I catch them. If I don't catch it off the bat, maybe put it in there twice or something.
Hey, just give me 1 second again. Thank you.
Yep, no problem, dude. Old Devil says, I have 2 BCIs, just as pets, no breeding plans. See, if I would end up getting a boa, I would never plan on breeding them because at the moment, sitting here with what I have in my collection, granted, I have a lot of room to grow still because I still have to build the racks up even higher. But between the ball pythons and the carpets, let me turn this fan on. It's getting hot in here. Between the ball pythons and then the carpets, it's starting to take up some room. All right, I'll put that up there for when he comes up. Phil, good question. He does have a morph market. The link to his morph market is in the description, so it is there. But yeah, I would never plan on breeding any boas if I had them. I'm going to stick with basically the carpets and the ball pythons for now. And eventually, like I was talking, I think it's whenever I did my solo little live here, I do think at some point I'm probably going to scratch the itch of green tree pythons just because I think that they are just stunning. But a little bit off topic. I don't know if anybody saw, but recently I finally got my stickers in. So there is the non-holographic, and there is the holo. So if anybody wants to do sticker swap, I can actually do sticker swaps now. So just hit me up on Instagram, and we can exchange information and go from there. And Jesse's back.
Yep, sorry about that again.
No, you're good, dude. Like I said, no worries, brother. No worries. Phil asked, do you vend shows or morph market or both? I did tell him that you do have a morph market and that the description is, or that the link is in the description.
Yeah, right now I only have morph market, and so locally, I don't vend shows and I don't have enough stock for it, unfortunately. Don't want to show up to the show with 1 snake to sell.
that's kind of where I was at. It's like I'd love to go to a show. I'd love to vend a show. I just at the moment do not have the stock to do it. Plus everything, like one of the great things with YouTube, everybody always talks about being monetized on it. And I'm not monetized yet by any means because I don't have the watch time. I don't have the sub count. But I do consider myself monetized just solely because I sold a lot of snakes through YouTube, just doing videos of the clutch cuttings, the updates. It's great advertising. So that's something to think about, Jesse, with your channel. I mean, even if you like, when I started doing my channel, I didn't think I had enough snakes, or I didn't think anybody really wanted to see what I had because of it being so simple. But you've got some really killer stuff that your channel would just take off just with what you have. And people love to watch as people grow. So that's just the thought.
I appreciate it, man. I do consider it all the time. You know what I mean? It's just with time and everything like that. You
I
gotta.
get you on that one.
It's one of those things you got to put 100% into it if you do it. I feel like.
You do. You do. I do agree with that. YouTube. I don't want to say it's a grind,
Mm,
but it kind of is.
yeah.
And I don't know if you're married or whatnot, but like I know, like my wife, thank God she's understanding like she is because I do spend a lot of time down here just working with the snakes, doing the YouTube stuff. So you got to
Yeah,
have someone
definitely.
that's very understanding about the time that you're going to be putting into doing all this and trying to make it go.
Yeah, let alone have a whole room full of snakes.
Yeah, yeah, that
Yeah,
was. I never thought I'd be at the point where I'm at because she at one point said no snakes whatsoever, and I
yeah,
just slowly worked one in, and then they kind of grew, and here we
yeah,
are.
exactly. Yeah.
John at Inquiline wants to know how big do you plan to scale your business?
Really, man, the hope is to have about 60 females or about 50 breeder females at max, and then have nice 10 to 15 powerful males to go to those females.
That's a
That
nice
way,
size
it's hitting a
collection.
nice 40 clutches a year, you know what I mean, average, with some high power stuff, averaging hopefully 1,000 to 1,500 a snake. That's the big goal for me. And
See,
really, with,
that's
yeah.
that's good planning in my opinion.
Mm,
Um, I don't know. Yeah, I'm assuming you've probably because you're on one of the top tiers of Billy's Patreon, so I'm sure he's kind of
yeah.
helped you out a little bit with navigating and giving you some advice on how to get to that point. So I have no doubt that you're
Definitely.
gonna get there quick.
And I did, like, before I even got my first female, man, I did about 2 years of research on YouTube and the internet on really how and what you want to do with the process. And I did try and I did stack up my list how I wanted it, man, with 4 females to 1 male, with that whole process. And then I did join Billy's Patreon, and then he did reassure me that I was doing it
That you're on
correctly,
the right path.
quote unquote correctly. Sorry. I, like, there's so many different ways you can do this, man, and that's the coolest part about it. It's
It
the
is.
animals are healthy and happy. It's you're doing it correctly, I think.
I agree. I agree. Completely agree. Let's see here. Cooks Constrictors. I do believe you're a new face to the channel. Thank you for tuning in with us. I appreciate you coming in. They say I've got 9 ball pythons working the freeway banana pinstripe, hoping for but will be happy with everything and work the blue-eyed Lucy project next year. So that's one thing I was hoping to get this past season was a bell clutch, and like I said before, my lesser female, she did not pull through. She reabsorbed. So hopefully she goes this year because bells are beautiful.
Yeah,
I kind of decided to do that for 2 reasons. One, they sell easy, or so I've been told anyway. They sell easy, and I just want to make one. I think I want one personally for my collection.
yeah, especially with the lesser bells too, man. They're super clean white and really, really clean. Like with them super Mojave, you sometimes get the little purple head that's not really,
Yeah.
really clean white. But I
Well,
really like crystal clean.
I heard something about Mojave and Lesser because that's what my pairing is. It's the GHI Mojave to the Lesser Platinum Girl.
Mm,
Um, I've heard that the Mojave Lessers are actually probably one of the whitest snakes to make the bells.
nice,
But at
cool.
the same token, you don't get like the bug eyes that you get from lesser to lesser. So you still
Yeah,
get that crystal clean white slate.
mm,
You just kind of avoid the bug eyes on it. That's what I've
nice.
been told. Whether or not it's true, I don't know.
Yeah,
But yeah, I hopefully find out.
yeah.
Phil says he doesn't have stickers. Phil, you need some stickers, brother. I didn't have stickers until a couple weeks ago.
Mm.
So if you send me your email, Phil, I can send you a link like Jeremy and Holly did for me and get you it's like $10 off of your first sticker order. So if you're interested, let me know on my Instagram since we've been talking a lot here lately. Let me know and I can send you that link or email or whatever it is and you can get some stickers made up for $10 cheaper. Jeremy and Holly say, did you see there's a sale on the chipper for Florida residents right now? They're talking about with their
Yeah, that's the cocoa I use
their
too. Super
oh yeah,
awesome
that's
stuff.
yeah, you're down in Florida. I keep forgetting
Yeah.
that.
Yeah. I didn't see the sale right now. Thank you for letting me go. No, I'll have to order some cocoa. I'm starting to. I think I'm actually only down to 5 blocks. So
Now, do you get it like they do in like the big giant bale, or do you buy it in like a smaller portion?
I buy the 10-pound blocks,
Okay,
because I do freeze my cocoa.
that's
Like we were
right. You
talking
did
about.
say that.
I take my cocoa blocks, 10-pound blocks, and put them in the freezer for at least 48 hours before thawing them out again and using them. That's just to keep the pests out of it. Just a precautionary thing.
Which I think is really smart. And after, because I remember you saying about that the other day when we hopped on just to make sure everything worked, and that's something I'm going to actually start doing because I
Yeah.
never thought about, but that is a very good idea.
And
And
even if you don't have a huge freezer, you can cycle it in and out, man. You know what I mean? It's just really getting it in there for the time being to freeze everything, kill it all.
that's
You know.
yeah, no that's really smart thinking because that's something that I don't do currently, and I am going to start to do because I do have a big chest freezer. So I'll just have to move something out of the way a little bit. The wife will probably yell at me when she opens it up, and she'll see rats on one side, cocoa chip, and then she won't see any of the other stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, she'll get over it.
Yeah.
Chip says being monetized would not be my goal. Getting my name out there, Chip.
Man.
That is a very good point. I mean, doing YouTube, doing lives is a great way to get your name out, get people to know you, see what you're working with. It's also a good way for record keeping. To where if someone
Oh yeah.
questions something about like your clutches, if they question a pairing or something, you can send them the link to the video. Be like, look, right here's the clutch cutting. Here are the updates of the pairings. Here's this and here's that. It's just very good record keeping, as far as I'm concerned, and it can
Exactly.
alleviate a lot of questions, in my opinion. So it's getting your name out there. It's got so many different uses. Being actually technically monetized is just a bonus, in my opinion, because then it might pay for, say, maybe a thing of rats every so often. So that's how I look at it. If I get monetized, it's just going to help me feed what I have.
Yeah.
Excuse me. And hopefully, I get to that point. If I don't, I have fun doing it. And I have fun producing content for everybody. And I hope everyone learns from my journey and people getting in. I hope that they learn, you can start out at nothing and as a quote unquote nobody, and you can make it you can make it to wherever you want to make it to. I mean, there's no one should ever tell anybody in this hobby you can't do it. So I know
Yeah.
I've had some people tell me, I'm basically an idiot for thinking that I can make it go at this. And it's like, no. It's like my first year I started, I'm still a nobody in my opinion, but my first year, everything I produced that I put up for sale is gone. It's sold.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
I mean, I've got one snake I'm waiting. I think that's going to like Wisconsin or something like that. And I'm just basically waiting for winter to get out of here so that way I can ship it over to people. So
Yeah.
I've got that one sitting, and I've got my cinnamon leopard het desert ghost male that is finally eating by himself. Thank God. He's wants nothing but mouse hoppers, but I'm just happy he's eating. And so hopefully he gets up to size here soon, and I can post him here within the next month because he's sitting, I think he's like at 80, 85 grams, and he was a small hatchling to begin with.
Yeah.
But thankfully he's eating good, and hopefully he gets the size on him, and I can send him to some new happy place to live and just be completely done with all my first season babies.
Yeah. And that's how it usually works with me too, man. Like with the clutches, as soon as they're laid, I have people asking me when they're due to hatch and stuff like that.
Yep.
And it's like, well, oh, geez, man. Like,
I know,
only have
like,
one.
oh, go ahead.
It's like I only have one pied that I wanted to keep. You know what I mean? So like now it's like, oh my gosh, I only have so many to sell.
Well, like with my banana clutch, I had people hitting me up, and I basically had a wait list just for my banana clutch, and that was like 5 eggs, if I remember
Mhm.
correctly. And they're like, "Well, if you hit this, I want that, and or this or that, this combo." It's like, whoa. So yeah, I get first pick out of here. It's like, if
Yeah,
there's something
exactly.
that really stands out, it's staying here.
Literally, yeah.
It's like if I hit multiples, okay, then we'll, depending on how the sex odds go, then we'll talk about it leaving. But
Mhm.
I actually only ended up keeping 2 snakes out of the clutch. Everything else went. One actually only went like 20 minutes away, and that was a banana pastel GHI, and that thing's
Awesome.
stunning. My buddy Carlos, he still puts up pictures of it on his Instagram, and it makes me regret ever getting rid of it because that thing just is getting better and better with age. It's like, oh, you idiot, you got rid of the wrong snake.
Yeah, it's like the girl I have up for sale right now, the only one I have available, man. It's I debating on keeping her or selling her. It's so hard, man, because she's such pretty pied.
No, you want to show her off? Free advertisement. Plus, I'm curious to see what this is.
It's a, super pastel NG pied. She's actually starting to go into blue a little bit, but she's still pretty.
Oh,
She's
wow.
super low white as well.
I love how it like it sent like there's the nippiness.
Like I said, man, it's I don't know why.
That is beautiful, dude. That is beautiful. And it's almost like the back almost reminds me of something like a highway with the
Oh yeah,
stripe on it and stuff. That is just beautiful. Now, is that on your morph market?
yep. She's up on the morph market right now.
All
She's
right. So
actually the only
everybody,
snake I got available.
if anybody in the audience here is interested or anybody tuning in after this live and you're interested in this beauty, check out Jesse's Morph Market. The link is in the description and hit him up because I'm surprised that she is still there. That is a
Yeah,
beautiful snake.
and I do like how morph market has the option where you can actually like see how many people are looking at your snakes and everything like that, and how many clicks on and everything you get. So it's pretty sweet.
Yeah, like the analytics and the analytics aspect of it. Yeah, I do like that
Yeah,
too.
exactly.
I
You can
really
really
do
see what
like
people are
that.
looking at and what people are interested in.
Justin says building supplies for the shows though. Show's coming soon. I know it's coming. I know you it's coming. So it sounds like he's getting ready to send you to the shows.
Well, yeah, can't wait to get into them, man. Really, it's the one exciting thing for me. I
Now is
always
that
love going to them.
now speaking of like the building supply, like are you gonna build your own displays? Are you gonna buy your own displays?
It depends, man. I do like the really nice. I forget what they're called. The displays that come with the heaters and the lights and everything like that.
Oh,
Um,
I know what you're talking about. I looked at them. They're like outrageously pricey, but they're outrageously nice.
exactly, yeah, and they're super awesome. I really like how they come with the carrying case and all that. But dude, the price point is absolutely astronomical. And just
It
looking at it, it's
is.
like I'm sure I could build it for, I mean, a fraction of the price. And thermostat and heat tapes, no problem. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
so
As
we'll
long as
see.
you've got the mindset to do it, you can do it.
It's just finding the supplies right now is kind of the issue I guess everybody's having.
Yeah. Yeah. Supply. Yeah. Lovely supply chain.
Yeah.
John says he's trying to pair banana cross with Mojave. Oh, okay. Banana Mojave fire to a pastel lesser right now. That'll be an interesting pair.
Hmm.
Excuse me, man. My drink is really getting to me tonight. Either that or there's the chili's finally getting to me. Phil says send it. All right, Phil. I will send you the coupon here. I'll probably send it tomorrow, but I will make sure that you do get that by tomorrow, no matter what, Phil. See, I actually fell behind here. Let's see. John says he's hopefully that'll be his first clutch. John, that would be a very nice first clutch.
Oh, yeah.
Chip says, don't forget to hit that like button, everybody. If you haven't already, hit that like button, please. All the support's greatly appreciated. I know we had almost 20 people in earlier. We're at 13 right now, so I'm still happy.
Awesome.
I appreciate all the support, everybody.
Thank you, everybody, for coming to check it out.
Jeremy and Holly say the Florida Rotary is having the sale, so check them out on Instagram. Let's see here. Is there a way to brand substrate like cocoa? I want to start doing this in branding products. I don't know how you would go about doing that, John, in all honesty. You have any idea, Jesse? I guess you'd I mean,
Yeah.
That's beyond my knowledge. I'm not going to lie. John says his logo is coming within the next month or two. Found his logo artist, but going to cost me a pretty penny. Well, you can always go simple like me, and I mean, it's nothing fancy, but it gets the job done. I do like your logo though, Jesse. It's simple, but I mean, it gets the job done. It's very creative. With it putting, I don't even know what that musical note's called. I know it's a musical note, but
yeah, it's a treble clef. Yeah, it's once again treble clef music note, and it's the pied. Once again, the pied is the whole reason why I got back into ball python. So.
Chip wants to know what I'm drinking. Chip, I'm drinking my traditional favorite, Jack Daniels and Pepsi. It settles my nerves so that way I don't act really stupid on here, and kind of puts me in a mellow temperament and just lets me think a little bit clearer. Or at least I think it lets me think clear. All right, let's see here. Here's a good one. What is your goal as a breeder? I know we briefly already touched it, but like, where do you want you? I know you said you want to hit like 60 snakes roughly, breeding females, but do you want to do this? Do you eventually, if you hit that point, do you want to take it and where this is solely what all you do?
Definitely, yeah. Definitely, I do. I do have pretty bad back problems, and this is something easier that I can do that will help. I work in construction right now. Obviously, it's not the super hardest construction field to work in, but it's still standing up 8 hours, 10 hours a day, man, and it all gets to you. I'm pretty young, and it already getting to me, so I can't even imagine when I'm freaking 40 or 50 years old, man. So.
I know, like for me, I'm in, like we were talking earlier, I'm in construction as well. I'm not standing 9 times out of 10. I'm actually sitting on my rear end, but I'm in a skid loader and I'm bouncing around like crazy, going over hunks of blacktop. I mean, just if I move certain ways, sometimes certain things pop in my back, and
Oh yeah.
and it like I'm 35 now. I have to remember I just turned 35. Like I remember saying a new age now. But I'm only 35, and it's like, oh my God, I feel this out of whack at such a young age. My son came up to me the other week. He goes, "Hey, Dad, do you think I could go to the chiropractor?" I looked at him, I was like, "What are you talking about? Chiropractor at 14?" He goes, "Well, I think my back's a little out of whack. I think it could really benefit from it." And I was like, it's like, really? So it's like, wait till you're my age and you're doing what I'm doing, and then tell me about back problems.
Yeah, like I said, man, I can't imagine.
Dude,
by then I hope I can get injected with like some robot stuff or something like nanotechnology or something like Iron Man, man, maybe, you know.
Like in all, like the very few times I actually get sent out to do flagging, if for whatever unknown reason there's nothing for me to do one day, like if they're working on my machine and they're like, "Hey, we need a flagger," dude, I cannot stand there for that long. My feet start killing me, my back starts killing me. It's just, I don't know how you do it. Like I would take bouncing around in my machine and screwing my back up over being on my feet all day long like that.
Nice
I
boots,
could not
man.
do
Nice work
that.
Boots.
Nice work boots would be the key, I guess. Let me see where lost my place here. There were some comments that I saw. Phil says he loves his builds, no regrets. Okay, here's a good one. Your cleaning schedule and maintenance schedule. let's touch base on that. That's actually a really good question. I've never thought of before about asking. That's gonna start getting put into like the little banner thing there. I like that one.
Yeah, for sure. Justin, he brought it up because he comes over and helps me once a week. We do it once a week. We do a spot clean. Every 3 weeks, we'll do a full clean on the big bins, and then on the hatchling racks, every week we'll do a spot clean, and then every 2 weeks we do a full clean on the hatchling racks. Which
Okay.
full clean consists of taking the tub out, replacing every single cocoa, replacing with a new tub. Fresh water
Okay.
every week, fresh water every couple of days. Of course, keeping the fresh water.
I see fresh water is a big thing now. Like, do you replace all the water or do you like
Well, on the
or do you
spot,
let it, when you put your first mount in, do you let enough there so that way you can top it off later on in the week?
usually I top it off during the week, but when I do the spot cleaning, I'll take the water dish and do it how like Justin Kabloka does and dump it into the cocoa to rehydrate it, and then top it off with the fresh water.
Okay, that's basically what I do a lot of times. I've
Mm-hmm.
started doing that, and I have to watch. I try to make sure I don't get too much humidity going on because I am in the basement, and I don't, it's already humid down here, so I don't want to get too much humidity going on. But no, that's basically kind of how I do it.
And
I actually
that's a
changed.
concern here too, is too much humidity here in Florida. Because dude, I could open a window, man, and be totally fine. But during the winter time, it just sucks all the humidity out of the air. Just how cold it is.
I know, like for me, I have a wood stove on the other side of the wall here, and that really sucks the humidity right out of the air to where I actually have to run a humidifier. And that's actually behind my water jug.
Oh, wow.
But I normally have that going. I got to fill that up tonight. But I normally have that going just because of how much it does suck up. But normally down here in the room, it's normally about a nice, it stays right around like 55 or so percent. So it's really good.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just what, like you said, wintertime, it just sucks it right out of the air and it's terrible.
Mm-hmm.
No, you said it before, but Phil was blocked and couldn't really do much, but he's asked if you play anything.
Yeah, no, I do not play any musical instruments. I really wish I did, man. I'm horrible at it. I've tried to pick up guitars, and dude, I just can't. I don't know what it is, man. I can play video games amazingly, so it's not coordination at all. I just don't get it, dude.
What video games do you play?
I play right now. I'm playing a lot of Halo.
Oh, okay. Okay, so you have Xbox.
Yeah, exactly, Xbox.
Okay. So I'm a big gamer myself, and a bunch of my friends and stuff. We play Warzone, Call of Duty Warzone, and we've actually been on a spree here where we at least get like one win a night. It's actually pretty nice. But it seems like the more you win, the more Call of Duty's like, all right, we're gonna put you in worse lobbies so you get even more BS thrown at you, and
oh yeah, yep.
It makes you have to start drinking a little bit early.
Yeah, I used to play Call of Duty a lot too. Just with Warzone, the new game came out. I wasn't a big fan of the direction the new game was going, so I just went to Halo again. After I got off of Halo a few years, and then I fell in love with Halo, and I don't know, just loving it.
I have very fond memories of playing Halo with a bunch of my friends, and we'd be drinking all night playing Halo, and it made me realize plasma grenades are not my friend. Like, I don't think I've ever met somebody that was as bad with plasma grenades as what I was, because I would always end up blowing myself up with them. Somehow I would find a way to blow myself up with them. It's just bad juju, and that was probably the last time I probably was at one of those parties was the last time I played Halo, and it was just terrible. Absolutely terrible. Let's see here. Jeremy High says, I used to go for chiropractor at like 10. Come on. That's too young to be going to the chiropractor.
Yeah. I mean, I've been chiropractored on since I was a baby. My grandfather's a really good chiropractor, renowned in California.
Oh, okay.
And, same thing. He's helped me a lot with my back issues. Unfortunately, my stuff had to be improved with surgery.
Oh.
Yeah, unfortunately had 3 back surgeries so far.
And, wow.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
you
just had
do
my
have
last one
some
in
back.
November.
You do have some back stuff going on then. If you've had to go in for surgeries like that, wow, dude, that
Yeah,
stinks.
it's crazy because my doctor tells me I have the back of a 68-year-old, and I'm only 28 or 27, but I'm gonna be 28 in a couple months. So
Oh
that
wow.
that goes
Yeah,
back to
you're.
where like when I'm actually 50, what is it gonna be like?
Oh my, dude, you are way too young to be having problems like that.
Yeah.
Oh, that stinks. I feel bad for you, dude. I really do because I don't know, like I know I complain about my back problems, but I think I need to stop complaining because you definitely, at least I haven't had to do surgeries yet. That stinks.
Mm. Yeah, it's okay though, man.
Patrick says, "What's up?" Patrick, thank you for tuning in. This guy is everywhere. I love Patrick. He's absolutely everywhere. Just absolutely everywhere. And everybody loves Patrick. All right, let's see here. So here's a good one. Do you have any tips for anybody getting into the hobby? Whether they want to make it go as being like a full-time breeder or just a hobbyist breeder? Do you have any tips
Um,
for
yeah, if you're wanting to just get into a hobby, do your research on what genetics you really like and find the pet that you're gonna have and want to keep forever. You know what I mean? Get something that you want to look at every day. You're not just gonna throw into the corner and forget about it. Because none of us really want that for the animals, man. Um, and then if you are wanting to start into a business, really start off with the genetics that you're wanting to produce, what you want to produce yourself. Don't try to chase the big guys because big guys you're never going to catch the big guys, man. It's just, they're ahead 10 years, man. And there's no
it?
going forward in time, man. So produce what you
That's
want to produce.
solid advice. Like everybody always sees what Justin and Miguel and Billy, or like you said, any of these big breeders, they what they show you on their YouTube channels is nothing compared to what they have in another room somewhere that you don't see.
Yeah,
They're that far ahead, like you said, you're not going to catch them, and it's really not a race. I
exactly.
mean, Billy said it
And that
best in
too.
one of his Q&As that there's that much of a supply, like
Mhm.
there's that much of a demand that nobody is going to be able to meet all the needs of what's out of what people want. So it doesn't matter
Exactly.
where you at as far as breeding. There's going to be somebody that wants what you're producing, no matter what. I'm a firm believer in that. It's just as long as you produce quality, healthy animals.
Exactly. Yeah. And same thing if you're not trying to scam people and sell them something that's not really what it is, man. If you're completely honest, man, it's it's wonderful, man. It really is.
Yeah.
One other tip would be females, man. Collect females.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Females first, and like you said before, go for that 4-to-1 ratio. I
Mm,
know I had myself set up where I think I was at like a 3-to-1, but then two of the snakes that I bought that were supposed to be female, and this was before I could learned how to properly pop. Um, two of the snakes that were supposed to be female. My leopard lesser spot nose, of course I was going to go with the Batman project. I bought my male bumblebee clowns. All right, we're going to make some clown stuff with leopard and spot nose in it. I was getting myself set up, and it's like, man, this snake is just not growing at all. Like it hit
mm,
a certain point about like 1,000 grams, and he doesn't want anything but mice to begin with. Now all out of the blue, and it's like it just stopped growing, and it bothered me for so long. And I kept trying to pop, and finally I got the technique down.
mm.
And then I get hemipenes and sperm plugs to pop out. I thought
Oh man.
there went that project, completely blew that one out of the water.
Mm,
So now I kept him because I did think about selling him, but it's like that male's got all the genes I need. So if I just buy some clown females and pair him to them, make a spot nose that's het clown, I already have the bumblebee clown that can go to a leopard, my one
mm.
leopard pewter female. Hopefully I can hit a female leopard het clown and kind of work, that way. It's a little bit longer road and
Yeah.
playing the odds a little bit more, but it trying to hit that 4-to-1 ratio, I do think is key because Billy said it best. You don't want to have snakes just sitting around in your collection unless you're going just for collecting. But if you're going for like the breeder thing, you don't want them just sitting there and you saying, well, eventually I'll use this one or eventually I'll use that one because you're losing money on it essentially from the business aspect.
Yeah, exactly. And that comes to the point where if you want to make it into a business or a hobby, and if it's a business, then it needs to be profitable. And if it's taking into your profits too much, then it has to be fixed.
Yeah.
Thankfully, like I only have a couple snakes that I consider my like hold downs. I never go nowhere. You know what I
uh,
mean?
right now, some of my girls I started off with, it'll be hard to get rid of them when that time comes. But I do know that my Orange Dream Bumblebee I produced, I don't think he's going to go anywhere.
Yeah.
Because he was one of my dream animals and he came out just that perfect. If he wasn't in shed, I'd pull him out. But he's right now in deep shed and looks terrible. But I don't think he'll ever go just because he's free. He's awesome. Crystal clear, clean pattern. All right, Justin's got another thing here for you. The Da Vinci Boa stuff. Tell us about that. How's that worked for you?
Da Vinci Boa, man, it's pretty sweet. It's actually I don't know if you've ever heard of it or anything like that. It's a vitamin supplement for snakes. It came out for boas, essentially, and then ball python guys started using it for them after females lay eggs and are harder to get on feed again.
Okay. So I've heard of it, but I've never used it yet.
Yeah, it's actually, dude, it works amazing. Each female that I've had that went off of food for me for about 5-6 months, I'll give them just one dose of it, and then 2-3 days later, they're smashing rats again.
Oh, really?
Feel like once they stop eating, they get some weird enzyme buildup in their gut or something, and it just makes them feel like not eating anymore, and then that like flushes them out. They take a nice big nasty poop, and they're right back on eating again. It's pretty amazing.
That's something I'm gonna have because I know Billy talks about it. There's a couple other people I've heard talk about it. I've thought about using it, but I didn't know exactly what it would do or how it worked. I guess I should do more research on that part on my own end. But it's nice to hear somebody else like go actually say, this is what it's been doing and how it's been working for me.
Yeah, and it actually works really well. And then for some other reason, it has that medicine effect to where you threaten a snake with the egg. If you don't eat this time, I'm going to have to give you the Da Vinci Boa again. And then all of a sudden they eat, man. It's awesome.
Now, how do you give it to them? Like, do you put it in the rat? Do you put it?
No,
I think the one thing I saw, like they use like an eyedropper and you get the snake to open its mouth and you put it down
exactly.
so far.
A little pipette about yay long and skinny little thing, looks like a turkey baster.
Okay.
Fill it with about 3 milliliters of fluid, and then hold them by the neck vertically, and you put it down their throat and squeeze it down their throat.
Okay.
It's the most effective way for sure.
So that was one thing. That was another thing. Like I saw like you said, the pipette thing. I also wondered, could you inject it into the rat? But then I guess you got to get the snake to eat the rat, and if the snake's already eating the rat, then you don't really need to jump start them.
Exactly. Yeah,
so
exactly.
that's something I'm going to have to look into because which one was it? I think it was my Xanthic girl. She ate one or two. She didn't want to go back on rats right away. She went on mice. She ate like 2 mice off the start, 2 weeks in a row, and went off food again. And I couldn't get her back on for a couple weeks. So that's actually something where I need to probably invest in that Da Vinci Boa stuff for this season just to help prevent that. How much does that run roughly? Do you know?
$40 for the little bottle, I believe.
Okay. Now, do you know roughly how many doses you get out of that small bottle, or?
I've used 3 doses before so far, and I believe it's about 75% full. So probably about 6. No. Would that be about 12 doses? 12, 14 doses?
Okay. So yeah, you get a decent amount of use out of it. And plus, if it gets your animals back on food sooner, it's well worth it anyway because you're going to be able
Exactly.
to put them back into the rotation for the next season.
And that's
That's
exactly what happened to one of my females. Is she came back on food right away, ate about 2-3 meals, and then just locked back down. She wouldn't eat anything.
yeah, it was baffling because she started up. I had already figured, a few of them are going to go start a little bit slower. Maybe they'd have to start on mice, whatever, because I heard of that before, But when she shut back down, it's just like, oh man, you got to be kidding me. Because it's like my Xanthic project is one of the backbones of my whole collection. Like I love the Xanthic gene.
Oh yeah.
So having her, me even remotely thinking that she wasn't going to be good to go for this season was like, it was crippling to an extent. Because my Orange Dream girl, she's not going to be ready till hopefully next year. Hopefully she's ready then. But
Yeah.
I mean, I got to get more Xanthic stuff sitting in the racks to grow up.
Yeah, and that was the Ultramel VPI line. That was filling in the project for my Xanthic also. I was lacking a couple of females in that project. So
Okay.
when I went to go look at the VPI line stuff, I saw the Ultramel double visual, and I was like, oh, wow, that would fit perfectly into the project.
I said, yeah, that's one of those. Now, I'd imagine that was probably a pretty penny snake, too.
Yeah.
But she's going to make it back for you. I'm certain of that. She's beautiful.
Definitely.
Absolutely beautiful. For anybody that's tuning in, the snake he's talking about is earlier in the show, and she is absolutely stunning. So make sure if you just tuned in, you go back after this live and check it out because you're not going to regret it. That's basically all the questions and stuff I had. Is there anybody else in the chat that has any other questions for Jesse? If you do, put them in there and we'll throw them up here so that way he can answer them. And if anybody missed it before in the beginning, next week I will not be having a live. I'm not competing with the Super Bowl. As I said earlier, I'm going to lose that battle. I'm not even going to try to fight it. So next week I am taking off. I actually think I'm going to a Super Bowl party. I'm not a big sports guy, but I will partake of food and drinking. So, Phil, here's that. Phil, I tell you what, brother, you are on the ball. Any dinkers going on in your racks, like dinker projects?
No, not specifically. Just that one triple het that I showed you guys earlier. That's really weird.
Okay, that is a very beautiful snake. There's something really going on with that. I'd love to know what it is.
If you'd consider that a dinker, but I don't go out fucking looking for dinker projects, man. I want something, that's already established.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. My luck sucks, so I'm afraid to get into a dinker project. But the concept or the thought of a dinker project is really neat. I don't know, did you watch the dinker episode that Jace and Josh put up on Gen Z Reptiles or on their YouTube? There was some dinker stuff I didn't know even existed. And there was this one, it was called, I think they called it Aztec. Thing was phenomenal looking. It almost reminded me of a almost reminded of like a bredli carpet python with the coloration of it. It's very reduced pattern, almost like a Mojave, like very reduced. The alien heads are more like keyholes, but the coloration of it had like this brick red tone to it. It's a beautiful snake. And
I'll have to check that out.
Just thought there was a couple other things that kind of resembled like a desert ghost and the LSR fire stuff. There's some really neat stuff out there that I never would have known was out there up until that point. So it'd be neat to see some of that stuff come to light and if it actually becomes anything. Phil says his Odium was a dinker until Nerd confirmed it. Dinkers can pay off. See, Odium, I think we talked about this before. An Odium Nerd's version of something. I can't think of what it is though. And fill in for what it actually is like. John's got a good point here for dinkers. Outback Reptiles. Outback Reptiles, I have seen them throw out some really interesting stuff that actually shows some promise. That
No,
our Lesser Pewter Girl actually came from Outback Reptiles. So,
no.
or not
For
Lesser Pewter,
Dinkers,
Lesser Platinum.
like for Dinkers, are you actually saying like unknown genes or just like kind of low lying genes that nobody really works with? You know what I mean? Because I have a web clown that I've never seen anybody work with web very much at all. You know what I mean? So I can't wait to see what that produces.
So I've never even heard of Webb, in all honesty. Like Dinker for me would be something that no one's really named, or
Okay,
like
yeah.
there's
So
only
that's
like
the
maybe
same
one
thing then.
person working with it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, something
But
that's not really established, not really known. That's kind of
yeah.
new. Yeah.
Now is your Webb girl? It's a female, right? You said. Is
Yeah.
she breeding right now?
No, she's still
Can
pretty
you pull
small.
her? Do you mind pulling her out for us? I'm interested in seeing what this looks like. Put you on the big screen here. All right, Phil says very okay. That's it. It's similar to puzzle, but does funky things. Very bright early on. Okay.
It's just really reducing and almost a red stripey.
Yeah, that's pretty looking. Very, very pretty.
Yeah.
Well, Jesse puts her back. Now, like I said, next week we're not having a live. February 20th, Mark from 403 Fauna will be on. And February 27th, we have Kai from Lucas Landon Royals joining us. So make sure you guys don't miss those two, the February 20th and February 27th. And I'm going to throw a slight little teaser out that later on in the year, on May 1st, I managed to book someone I never thought in a million years I would be able to get onto the live or anything. So I'm not saying who it is yet, but I think some people's jaws are probably going to drop. I did tell Jeremy and Holly, and I think Holly about got sick. She was that excited about it. So, so I do have somebody really, really. I'm still in shock and all that I actually got this person to come on. So, let's see. Your uncle says quality over quantity, pros and cons. That's actually a good one too.
Well, quality, obviously, you're having less production, but you're having higher. You have possibilities of higher, like standards or price point, you know. So, really depends on what you want to do. I go for quality over quantity. There's certain projects that I have did go quantity over quantity. Like I have two of the cinnamon ghosts, and now that I'm starting to figure out, it's like, why do I need two? You know, but
I say a lot of it too. I also think, I mean, you always want. I'd rather be producing really nice stuff over having a whole bunch of stuff. But at the same
yeah,
token, if you can only afford X, but you can't afford Y, sometimes you maybe need to work the lower end stuff that maybe might not be as high quality as like some of these 5, 10, or like 5, 16 animals, but you
exactly,
can what you're working with, you can make high quality and then
exactly, yeah.
build up to where you're I guess you must be playing with the big boys.
Yeah, but at that same point, you're focusing on the quality of your animals, not the quantity of them. You know what I mean?
You are, yes, very, very correct, very true.
If you're focusing on quantity, you're buying 20 normals and plugging your bumblebee male into the 20 normals, making a bunch
Yeah,
of pastels.
that's just not a common. That's just like I love bumblebees. I really do. I know spider gets a whole bunch of crap. I love
Yeah,
bumblebees. I mean, they're beautiful. It's one of the snakes that I always wanted when I was in the hobby years and years ago as a kid. Because then that was when bumblebees were hitting the market and they were all the rage.
yeah, yeah.
Um, but now it's like spider gene gets so much crap and not a lot of people want to work with it, which I do get. I understand both sides of that argument,
Yeah, definitely.
but I mean, there's not many genes you can do that you can throw in like you can with spider and
Oh
make
yeah,
some of these zebra bee combos. Like some of these zebra bees, I think are just outstanding. That's one of the things I'm working towards is the Desert Ghost zebra bee because
yeah,
I think that's going to be awesome, especially throwing that orange dream in there, making an orange dream bumblebee, Xanthic, Desert
hmm
Ghost. Uh, I can
yeah.
taste the success.
Yeah, oh yeah, that's one of the long plans with that Ultra Snow. I have the Killer Bee Exanthic female getting up there right now. She'll
Okay.
go. Hopefully, I'm hoping if everything goes time wise, hopefully she'll go with my Fire Mojave Exanthic male. So hopefully hitting a Fire Mojave Pastel Spider Exanthic. So however
Okay.
you would want to call
I
that,
see that.
Spider Bee Mojave, whatever.
See, that would be what a fire bee.
Fire Bee Mojave
Fires.
Exanthic.
Yeah. I don't know how to. Either way you look at it, that's gonna be a stunning animal.
Yeah, and then hopefully if I make that and get the male off of that, I'll plug it into the double visual Ultra Snow to make the Exanthic visual het Ultra Male, and then hopefully get the male from that to plug back in the mom to go for the double visual Mojave Fire Exanthic
Which that'll be
Ultra Male.
nuts.
Yeah, plus
That'll
Spider
be
plus
nuts.
Pastel. Yeah, so hopefully that's 2, 3 years away.
Yeah. Provided that hopefully everybody keeps eating and chowing down good
Yeah,
for you because that was one thing my Orange Dream Exantic girl, she went on like a couple week of a like a food strike there and it was just kind of like really and she's only about a year, she's right around a year old, maybe a month or two over. I bought her directly from Tallgrass, but
nice.
I got her early in the wintertime of 2021, but she's sitting at like she's almost like 600 grams. So I'm
Mhm.
thinking she'll make it, but if she goes on another fruit strike, I don't know if she'll make it for next season.
Yeah.
Now, speaking of food and stuff too, how often do you feed? Like I feed every other week for hatchlings and adults as long as they're above like 200 grams.
Yeah, I'm kind of sporadic with my feed. I don't stick to the 7 day mark exactly. I do feed my hatchlings 7 days once a week. But I will sometimes give them at the 6 day mark. I'll sometimes wait till 8 days, just to kind of just throw them off a little bit. I think I get a better hunger food response off of that, just because it's more natural that way. Out in the wild, they're not every Friday, they're not getting fed. You know what I mean?
That's true.
So I get the better feeding response that way. And then sometimes with the bigger females, if they're not so onto it that week, I'll go ahead and not feed them and give them a 2 week break. And then on that second week, guess what? They're slamming the rat. They want that.
Okay, so you kind of dabble a little bit into both of them, week on and
hmm
then
Yeah.
okay. It's actually
But
not a bad thought too.
I definitely feel them out though. You know what I mean? If the girl's smashing a rat every week, and I don't feed oversized rats, I like to stick to smalls for my adults.
Okay,
My adult males stay on pups. I feed pups to my males. Um, so yeah,
I mean, see,
I kind
so
of
that you're
different.
kind of doing because I started like the every other week thing after Billy had Doctor, I can't think of who
Booth
he had.
was it
Who
Booth?
Yeah, Dr. Booth, yes. After they were talking about what all goes on biologically
hmm
within the snake during digestion, it's just kind of like, you know what, it kind of like I had no idea that stuff went on. So
Yeah.
shortly after that is when I switched over to every other week and my feeding responses actually have improved. Now I
Yeah.
do have some that like they're not wanting to eat now as much, but it's the males that are breeding and it's the females that are breeding that are the ones that are acting like that.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking that, they're starting, the males obviously are thinking about the girls. And I think the girls are starting to get into that mode where we got to start making sure we have room for the follicles developing and not as
Yeah.
much the food.
Mm.
So does anybody else in the audience have any more questions for Jesse? If not, I'll give a minute or two here, but if not, we will call it a night because it's actually almost been 2 hours in like
Awesome.
40 seconds. Which I don't know about you. It doesn't seem like it's been 2 hours. These
Nah, yeah, that was pretty quick. 2 hours.
let's say these lives they go quick. But well, we wait to see if any more questions pop up. Like I said earlier in the show, US ARC, if you don't support them, support them. Every membership counts, every donation counts. Somebody slipped some sneaky legislation into one of these recent bills, and it basically affects how the Lacey Act works and with interstate travel of reptiles and amphibians. So hopefully it doesn't go anywhere, but if it does, it's going to drastically impact us as breeders and hobbyists, and it's just not good. And obviously it's not good because if it did anything good, they wouldn't have had to sneak it in. So
Exactly.
make sure you guys check out their website, do your research on it. Everything I've read, it's just like, nah, I'm by no means in favor of it. And like I said a little bit earlier, I sound like a broken record on it. No live next week. It's Super Bowl, not competing with it. February 20th, we have Market 403 Fauna coming on. And February 27th, we have Kai at Lucas Landon Royals coming on. So we got two awesome people that I've talked to an awful lot. And Kai actually really helped me out on one of my clutches with IDing it. So, he's one person I've really looked forward to. And also, like I said before, I now have stickers, everybody. So if you want to do a sticker swap, let me know. Hit me up on my Instagram, and we can get each other's info and do all that fun stuff. But it doesn't look like we've got any more questions. Got a couple people saying thanks that they enjoyed the cast. Jesse, thank you so much for coming in live. I appreciate it. I appreciate you taking 2 hours out of your evening to spend with us on here and talk and get everybody to get to know you a little bit. And it's been awesome. I had a blast with you tonight.
Yeah, man. Thank you for having me again. Super awesome. Thank you for having me. I've been trying to do this type of stuff and see the newer people trying to come up too. So I try to help if I can,
I greatly appreciate it. And anybody that's new tuning in, if it's your first time on the channel, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you're not subscribed already, I greatly appreciate all the support. Thank you to everybody that's my usuals that come on. I love you, all you guys. I greatly appreciate it. And we'll call that a night. Jesse, if you don't mind just staying on for like a minute after we end this. And
yep.
We're going to call it a night, everybody. Take care. And
thank you,
have a good rest of your evening. Have a good week. I'll have a new video coming out every Wednesday. So that'll be up. And we'll catch you in 2 weeks. So take care, everybody.
Thank you again.